I work on the ICU. I've been a nurse since last January. I started up on the ICU here, and we were the first unit to become COVID last March or April. And as a nurse, I have spent more time taking care of COVID patients than otherwise in my little over a year and a half as a nurse. And I think that just kind of puts things in perspective for me personally. You know, just my personal career, we've spent so much time with COVID, and it's really difficult because there's still so many unknowns. You know, we don't have a cure, we don't have a treatment. All we have is preventative measures through a vaccine, and that is still something that's so controversial. You know, through different media sources, different opinions, politics, and things like that. And I think that's the biggest difference this time around, is that last time, you know, we were like, we saw patients, they were getting really, really sick, but it was patients who had to leave the house because they needed groceries, or they had to go to work because they needed to make money, or else they were going to lose their job. They wouldn't be able to afford their house payments, their food, things for their kids. So I think that it was easier to empathize last time, and with everything being so much more preventable this time. All the reports have said, the majority of our patients are not vaccinated. I think the biggest question that I receive as a nurse is, oh, I saw on the news, you know, there were a lot of deaths over the weekend. For this weekend, for example, there were 6. And the first question I get almost every single time is, well, what were their comorbidities? And I think that's becoming just less and less of an issue with who gets sick. And I think that it's more just whether or not you're vaccinated at this point. I think that's the biggest comorbidity. We do see people that come in, you know, some obesity, high blood pressure, different issues and things like that. I'm not saying that every patient that we have is perfectly healthy, but I think that the biggest comorbidity that we state in everyone's history is vaccination status. And like we said before, the patients are younger this time around. I'm 25 years old for reference, and I've been taking care of patients that are in my age, my generation, on ventilators, on maximal life support, and they're not getting better, and they won't get better. And we've seen those patients that are so young die, and just because, you know, a lot of them didn't think they needed to be vaccinated, and they thought that if they got sick, they would just feel like they had a cold, but that's just not the case anymore.